Good morning, students. Welcome into 12th Science Chemistry class. Now we are learning the chapter that is the halogen derivative, chapter number 10, and this is the last topic of that chapter, that is the uses and environmental effects of some polyhalogen compounds. If there is more than one halogen atom is present into that of the halogen derivative, that are called as the polyhalogen derivative. And the first polyhalogen derivative is dichloromethane. That means two hydrogen atoms of the methane are replaced by the two chlorine atom. So the formula is CH2Cl2, dichloromethane, or it is also called as the methylene dichloride. Now it is a colorless volatile liquid. What are the uses and environmental effects of this dichloromethane, that is the methylene dichloride, CH2Cl2? Now first, it is a colorless volatile liquid with moderate aroma. Aroma means sweet smell. Now it is used as the solvent also. Now this methylene chloride is colorless liquid having sweet smell, that is the moderate aroma. It is volatile liquid, that means at room temperature it can be go into the vapor state. Now it is used as the solvent also, and also used as the propellant in aerosols. You know the aerosols, that is the insecticides or pesticides. Into that it is used as the propellant to that is fly away the insects, and that are the that is also the for the fungi, etc. Now over exposure to dichloromethane, if we expose this dichloromethane, that is the CH2Cl2 or methylene dichloride, what happens? Causes dizziness. Dizziness you know, and fatigue, such as vomiting like fatigue, that is the temperature. That is nausea, that is that is such a smell which causes the headache, that is the nausea. Also headache, numbness means that is the there is no any sensation and we becomes very tired of that. Weakness also, and it is highly dangerous because if it comes in direct contact with eyes, as it damages the cornea, it is very dangerous. And if it is that is come in contact with that of the eyes, it damages the cornea, that is the part of our eye, that is the cornea. So these are the very dangerous effect of this dichloromethane. And disagreeable smell is also there. So that is why it causes the dizziness, numbness, headache, weakness, fatigue, etc. And on direct contact which causes with the eyes, it damages the cornea. Now next, that is the second polyhalogen derivative is chloroform. Now trichloromethane. Chloroform means trichloromethane, CHCl3. That is the formula, chloroform. Now it is a colorless liquid with peculiar smell. On inhaling the smell, we can identify or detect that is the chloroform. So it has the peculiar smell. It is used to prepare chlorofluoromethane, which are used in the refrigerators. Chlorofluoromethane. Now that is the dichloromethane, because all the four hydrogen atoms of the methane are replaced by the two chlorine and two fluorine atom. And it is a refrigerant, that is the R22, the commercial name of this chlorofluorocarbon or methane, that is the refrigerant R22. It is used as the solvent also. This chloroform CHCl3 is used as the solvent for extraction of natural products. Due to that, from that there is the extraction of natural products on dissolving the raw materials into that of the chloroform, because chloroform acts as the solvent for extraction of natural products like gums, fats, resins, etc. Now it is used as the source of dichlorocarbon. The next use, that is the source for the dichlorocarbon also. This chloroform is the source of dichlorocarbon. Chloroform causes depression of central nervous system if we inhale that. Due to that, there is the depression in the central nervous system. Again, inhaling chloroform for a short time causes fatigue. Now, if we inhale the chloroform for a short time, there is the fatigue, and that is the date also, dizziness, vomiting, and headache. Now, long exposure to chloroform or long exposure to chloroform CaCl3 may affect liver also. Our liver get damaged due to the long exposure of chloroform if we inhale that. Chloroform, when exposed to air and light, forms a poisonous compound called phosgene. That is the gaseous compound. The chemical name is carbonyl chloride, COCl2 is the formula of the phosgene. If chloroform reacts with the oxygen or air in the presence of light, there is formation of this phosgene gas, COCl2, carbonyl chloride. So it is always stored in the dark colored, amber colored bottles in a airtight bottles. That means the cork is very fit of that of the bottle, and because it forms this carbonyl chloride, which is the very poisonous compound, poisonous gas called as the phosgene. Now these are the uses and environmental effects of these two polyhalogen compounds, that are the dichloromethane, that is CH2Cl2, and trichloromethane, that is the CHCl3. Now let us learn the another compounds which are the polyhalogen derivative of these alkanes and what are its environmental effects. So students, first take down the screenshot and write down the notes in a beautiful handwriting in your notes. Now we are learning, students, that is the environmental effects and uses of these halogen derivative, which are the polyhalogen derivative. Now third one is the carbon tetrachloride. Tetra means 4. Now there are the 4 carbon atoms. All the hydrogen atoms of the methane are replaced by the 4 chlorine atoms, or all the 4 hydrogen atoms of the methane are replaced by the 4 chlorine atoms. So the name is carbon tetrachloride, or it is also called as the tetrachloromethane. Now it is a colorless liquid with sweet smell. It is very useful solvent for oils, fats and resins. Useful solvent for oils, fat and resins, their extraction also. Now it serves as the source of chlorine, as there are the 4 chlorine atoms in carbon tetrachloride. So it is the source of chlorine gas. Again, it is used as the cleaning agent. It is highly toxic to liver. Exposure to high concentration of this carbon tetrachloride can affect the central nervous system, that is the dumbness, headache, etc. So it affects on exposure to a very high concentration. It causes or affect the central nervous system. It is suspected to be carcinogenic, very dangerous for eyes and for the skin. So it is carcinogenic. Prolonged exposure may cause death also. If we expose this carbon tetrachloride for a long period and if it can be inhaled by us, there is the death. Now it causes the death also on exposure to a prolonged time. It is greenhouse effect gas. It is the gas which affects which causes the greenhouse effect. You know the greenhouse effect. What is there in the greenhouse effect? That means the gases such as carbon dioxide or these gases, carbon tetrachloride, that can form a layer that is the earth, and due to that the heat of this earth remains as it is. It cannot go to outside, and due to that there is the very large increase in the temperature, that is the greenhouse effect. Now next one is the ionoform, which is the formula having CHI3, just as chloroform CHCl3, this is ionoform CHI3. It is also called as the triiodomethane because there are the 3 iodine atoms. Now this ionoform or triiodomethane CHI3, it is used or it is the yellow crystalline substance. It is solid in the solid form. It is yellow crystalline substance with disagreeable smell, very disagreeable smell. It is used in medicine as healing agent of that wounds, and it is also used as the medicine in healing agents and antiseptic in dressing of wounds. In the medicine, it is used as the healing agent and antiseptic to dressing that of the wounds. Due to that, wounds recovered earlier. So, powdered compound the doctor always uses during the dressing of the wounds. You may see that. But however, it is used in the limited proportion because it causes irritation to skin and eyes. Now, it may cause respiratory irritation also, that is the breathing difficulty. Due to that, the breathing difficulty will be there. So, respiratory irritation is there due to the high use of this ionoform. Dizziness, vomiting, nausea, depression of central nervous system, such are the effects which are due to the long exposure and inhalation of this ionoform. Now, visual disturbance also there. For the eyes, it is dangerous. So, visual disturbance will be there if we inhale for a long time to this ionoform or the triiodomethane. So, the environmental effects, it causes respiratory irritation, breathing difficulty, dizziness, nausea, depression of central nervous system, visual disturbance, these are there. And the uses are, it is used as a healing agent, as antiseptic in the dressing of the wounds. Now next is the freons. Now these are the chlorofluorocarbon compounds. Now these are organic compounds of chlorine and fluorine of methane. Now chlorofluorocarbons, CFCs, they are generally called as the chlorofluorocarbons or freons, CFCs, are commonly used as the refrigerant. In the refrigerant they are used. So they are the refrigerating gases. The most common representative of that is the dichloromethane, which is called as the freon 12. Others are the chlorodiachloromethane, that is the R22, trichlorochloromethane, that is the R11. These are the freons and these are used in the refrigerators. Now, let us learn again the more information about the freons, but take the short screenshot and write down the notes. Now again see students on that of the blackboard. Now we are learning that is environmental effects and uses of these polyhalogen derivatives. Now the freons. Now freons are used as the refrigerant in the fridge and air conditioning, propellant in aerosol and solvent to keep away the flies, those flies and insects. In the aerosols and solvent, it is used as the propellant. It is used as the refrigerators. They are used, freons are used as the refrigerators in fridge and air conditioning. They are used as the blowing agent in the making foams, to make the foam. It is used as the blowing agent in packaging material. It is used. Chlorofluorocarbons are responsible for ozone depletion. There is the hole to the ozone layer in the stratosphere due to these freon gases. That is the chlorofluorocarbons. And due to that depletion, the ultraviolet lights directly come on the earth and causes that is the very adverse effect to our skin and eyes. Now they are responsible for the depletion continuous prolonged inhalation of these freons causes the very adverse effect such as the organ damage, that is the breathing problems, and that is the loss of consciousness. We have the unconsciousness due to that. Now next is the DDT, which is the polyhalogen derivative. The name is dichlorodiethynyl tetrachloroethane. Trichloroethane. Now see, this is dichlorodiethynyl trichloroethane. Now there are the 3 chlorine again here. Now this is the this is ethane, and to that carbon of the ethane, both carbon, there are the 3 chlorine and 2 phenyl rings, and again to that phenyl ring there is the chlorine. Now such is the structure of dichlorodiethynyl trichloroethane, DDT. Now this DDT, dichlorodiethynyl trichloroethane, that is the DDT, which is the short name of this. It is used, it is the colorless, tasteless and odorless gas. Remember that, colorless, tasteless and odorless. Crystalline compound, not it is the gas, but it is the crystalline compound, solid compound, powder, used as the insecticides to kill the insects. Now it kills insects such as houseflies, mosquito and body lice. Now it is used for controlling the malaria and typhus, like that is the fever, typhoids. Exposure to high dose may cause vomiting. If we give the high dose, then it may cause the vomiting, tremors or shakiness. Laboratory animal studies showed the very adverse effect of this DDT on liver and reproduction. DDT is persistent, remains as it is for a long time, which is the persistent organic pollutant, readily absorbed in soils and tends to accumulate in the ecosystem as it is. So there is the ban to use of this insecticide. Now it is resistance to metabolism. Metabolism is not there if we intake it, and absorbed by the skin directly on used in the oils like solvent, and there is the ban on use of this DDT due to the adverse effect. Now these are the students, that is the uses and the environmental effects of these, that is the 4 different polyhalogen derivatives. If you understand, then you like, subscribe this video so as maximum students can be benefited. There is always, that is the MCQs type of question or short note on this topic. So thank you for watching this video. Take screenshot and write down the notes. Thank you, student.